What is this? Where am I? Whose house is this? Why am I asking so many questions? I am a hacker. I should know all these things. Right. Yeah, right, I should know these things. Man, I must have logged into the wrong account, because I have no idea where I am, and who it is that I am logged in as. I swear to God, this does not even look a little bit familiar to me. And I also have no idea where this place is. It looks kind of cool, I guess, but I have no clue to what I have done to strand here. I guess I will just check around real quick to analyze and assess the situation that I am in. I cannot believe that something like this would happen to me. A monumental error that is happening, or has happened rather, to one of the most elite hackers in the entire world. And I even specialize in cyberspace hacking and taking over lives. But I guess I will have to make do with what I have got here. And if I am right, I build in an internal backup which will take me out of this hacker space and take me back to my computer, because I will need to fix a lot on the current build that I made. This is really a bummer, man. I thought the hack was completed now, but I guess that nothing is less true when you think of it now. But then again, hindsight is always 20/20. This is a pretty nice place though, with a little water park in the middle of the town. I bet I can do a 6 slide off of the slip and slide. Man, even a backflip. That was also something that I had not calculated. I bet that the body that I took over is originated from a pretty successful and athletic guy, since he has such a nice house, lives in this nice of a neighborhood, and he is even athletic enough to do some crazy backflips that I would have always wished that I could do. But then again, I am the computer nerd who is just sitting behind his computer all day trying to pull tricks on unsuspecting people. Feels bad, man. I wish that I was more like Marcus Holloway, the new protagonist in the new Watch Dogs game. I believe it is called Watch Dogs 2, but I might need to double check that sometime. But he can do all sorts of crazy stunts. I mean, I can do a lot from behind a computer, but he is much more than that. He is a social engineer, so he knows his way with words, and he can do awesome free running and all the other parkour style. I am already struggling when I try and get a new can of Mountain Dew from my mini fridge underneath of my desk, because come on, it is a pretty deep stretch that I just cannot take. I am not built like most guys. I do not have the physique of a Greek god, or Chris Evans in the Avengers, or just a normal Captain America movies. But that is okay. Alright, but all that fun stuff aside, and let me grab this gun real quick so I can try and pulverize some coppers with an M401. I love this gun, not only in games, but man, just look at this and how smooth it fires. Plus it rarely jams. It is the best gun for all of your needs and wants. Man, I cannot believe that they got me, but hey, at least the whole prison is still in one big firefight with the guards, so that is good. I love it when a chaotic plan turns out to start more chaos. It is like heaving Easter, Thanksgiving, and all of the Christmas days in one big evening. It is like a perfect lead-in explosive extravaganza. Sometimes I feel like I am a more passive version of Batman, his Joker. I mean, the Joker has all of these well booked out plans and he goes out of his way just so he can screw with Batman. I basically do the same thing, but then I am the one doing it to the rich and the famous. And I rarely leave the safety and comfort of my own house. So you have got that going on, which is nice. Now let's go for a pistol. That is way more practical in these sorts of situations. At least that is my opinion. I actually do not deal with too many shootings, so I guess I am pretty much a noob at this. But still, with all of the reality aspects thrown aside, this actually is a pretty fun pastime if you ask me. Actually, I am kind of wondering right now, whose career am I ruining here? Because I have no idea whose life it is that I took over. I mean, I know that it is probably a guy, but that is the only thing that I was able to find on this guy, at least for now. Maybe I am able to uncover some more details about this guy as time passes. This is actually making me really curious. Like right now, I am probably more invested in this dude than that I was when I was trying to steal a ton of money from banks all around the USA. So that means something, I guess. So with all of that power, I am sure that I can at least uncover some juicy details about this dude. Wow, alright, this shotgun packs a punch. This must be one of those heavy 12-gauge ones. I remember shooting these with my dad when I was little, but then again I was not shooting at cops back then. I was shooting at bottles and dishware that my dad would launch into the air like a frisbee. Does not everyone just love a good prison riot? I mean, this is what life is all about. When you are a wanted felon like me, then you are always just doing the things that you want yourself without any care of what others think, or do or feel. You basically have to show zero remorse for others so you can break the law in the open world. The open free world, may I add. And then when you come to prison, you just take all of that attitude with you in there, and you go ahead and start riots like these. And of course, if everything goes as planned, that is all fun and games, but you do start to miss the freedom of being on the outside. And that is coming from me. And I have been here for only a couple of hours because I am still waiting for my hacking software to actually reset, so that I can get out of this dude his body, and get back to my PC, because I am not really being any sort of productive right now. Alright, the wall is in reach. I am actually not that keen on escaping right now, since it does not benefit me in any way. I mean, I am just temporarily trapped in this guy his body, so I could just wait behind these bars to get pulled back into my own body. But I want to cause a little bit more of a rampage before I go back to being the old boring me. Plus I can do a little bit more of collateral damage to this guy his life if I actually start to go on a full-on rampage. He could become a wanted felon and he would have to deal with that his whole life. That is possibly a nomination for the best and most elaborate prank that I have ever pulled on a celebrity. But still, I wonder why this guy is so highly known, and I am still unable to find any of his personal information or his name or any of that good stuff. Not even some awkward naked baby pictures of him in a bathtub. That is usually how you get them good, but I guess that is not the case with this guy. He is hiding himself like Edward Snowden did after leaking all of those NSA files. But what have we morphed into now? This guy takes on all sorts of different shapes and forms. I mean, he can at least do his best to stick with one life. But no, Mr. Famous Guy here needs 10,000 different types of jobs to do. I guess he is one of the reasons that this country is running out of jobs. I am kidding. I am that reason, because I am the one stealing all of Wall Street's money. And I am the same guy who is blaming it on Wall Street. I mean, come on. The big recession that hit in the mid-2000s. Who do you think caused that? I was able to get a buttload of money, and I blamed it all on the housing market and all of those blue-collared guys on Wall Street. But hey, they are climbing out of the abyss that I dug out for them, right? And I bet that with Donald J. Trump as president, that they will overcome the financial crises that will ever hit this country in the next, well, at least 2 years. But that is what I am counting on for now. Wait a second, is that guy dead? What kind of game is this? Is this even a game, or am I just in some office building where there is a serial killer on the loose? I mean, I will have to make sure that I have got my back then. I cannot afford to get a knife stab between the back of these baby back ribs. I am way too precious for that. Oh wait, never mind, I am in this dude, his body. So I guess that it is kind of okay if I do not feel any of the pain that comes with a knife stab. That is. Alright, that was one way to hand a freaking bomb over to someone else. I bet that they would have a better way to deal with it than me. But alright, I still have no idea what is going on. But I am going for that bank map, because that is my area of expertise. Even though I do not hack banks from the actual inside, I hack them from the inside of their mainframe. That is something else. There is a huge difference there, especially with most of the hacking stuff being done automatically by a program that I coded, instead of me actually having to enter a bank, hold some people on gunpoint, and then make sure that I can still get out alive with a heavy freaking duffel bag that will most definitely break my back one day. And I do not have insurance, so the surgery will be way too costly for me to do. And I want to be able to keep using my back for at least 20-something more years. But that is just an estimate. On a little side note here, why is that guy dressed like a mem dog, and why is the other one dressed like a royal king? I mean, I am the only king around here, even though I am actually also dressed up as somebody else. Even though this kind of dress up is a more advanced level, because I actually pretty much have taken over the dude his life. No. And wait a second, alright, look at this. My computer actually finished running some background algorithms and I figured out the name of this guy. SubZeroExtabyte. Is that even a name? That must be some really awesome internet code name for something, but I just cannot quite figure out what it is. I am sure I will be able to find out what it is, but probably not today. I will make this my life's work to find out who this man is, and I can get pretty competitive, so watch out, Sub-Zero. I know who you are now, at least, kind of right, but I will make sure that I know who you are in the next couple of months. Man, I keep getting this innocent thing when I start these. What is that? I am not an innocent person. Why do these people not respect me for who I am? I am a mastermind hacker and I am just flat out being portrayed as this dude who does not know how to close his dress shirt. I mean, come on, learn to button a button shirt, dude. It is not that hard, but that aside, I bet I would be a much better murderer or killer in this game, since I am one of the most sneaky people you have ever seen. Forget about ninjas. I have been training thousands of ninjas since I was a kid. I am kidding, but I did see a lot of Kung Fu Panda when I was growing up, and it actually still is a pretty guilty pleasure of mine. But still, I have to make sure that I can become the killer at least once. I bet that he is not going to shoot me. He does not dare to shoot me. I am the danger around here. He cannot just take my life like he is some sort of mighty creature who stand above me. Oh my god, he actually shot. I am not kidding around. Retreat, everyone retreat. This man has gone crazy. I cannot believe that he found the courage to actually shoot a bullet in my general direction. That is pure and utter blasphemy if you ask me. But what about you just admire me standing on this ledge here? I bet the real Sub-Zero cannot do these kinds of things. But I can. Maybe I should just take over forever. That would make my life a whole lot easier if you ask me. I would not have to constantly be on watch to check if the SWAT or the FBI comes crashing into my house and put me in some max security prison facility. Because even though I had a pretty big mouth like 10 minutes ago in that prison, I am sure that I would not be someone who would do good in there. I bet that I would have a shiv in between my juicy ribs on the first day. Probably even the first supper right before I go and ask for my Mountain Dew that they will not allow me to have. I would turn around, and bam, I get shanked, and I'm pretty sure that it is not a fun experience to be shanked on a daily basis. I do not know about you, but I know about me, and I'm sure that I would not like that to happen. Alright, now let's morph back to my original state. I am done hanging around this place like this green dressed dude. Alright, I guess that did not work the way that I wanted it to. I bet that there was a slight flaw in my program, which of course is a pretty big fail on my end of the bargain. But at least I can go for some more unlicensed fun on Sub-Zero's behalf. And I'm actually sad to note that I did not find any dirt on Sub-Zero, nor did I find his actual name, or a face or anything basically that would help me with eliminating him. Because if you ask me, he is becoming way too famous and way too powerful. But actually the one good thing about being in his body is to have the athletic skills that he has. Like I previously said, after doing that crazy backflip from that slip and slide, or was it a front flip? I cannot quite remember. It was a flip. That is one thing that I know for certain, but I would really like to have the athleticism that Sub-Zero has, so I can just jump around freely, and I can go to the bathroom every once in a while, without running out of breath before I even make it to the door of my room. But all of that aside, I think that I actually am starting to like the life that this guy is living. It is really versatile, and he actually has a great following that really looks up to him. So I guess he has that going on for himself, which is nice. But even with all of this building, I mean, look at this YouTube building that I am basically just stomping out of the ground without any trouble. But for me, this is not all what I am looking for in life. I am sure that being a famous guy, and having a decent amount of power to a tight following that will obey you every step of the way. Wait a second, that actually sounds really amazing. But then again, I was just starting to get to the point where I was going to say that I do not need this kind of life. I am in quite the pickle over here. But hey, beggars cannot be choosers, right? But hey, let me close off with this, because I am just getting tired of all of these shenanigans that I have to do in here. I am pretty jealous of the life the Sub-Zero is living around here, and I'm pretty sure that I would want it. But then again, I would like to thank you for the attention that you have given me, and I will just see myself out.